Before this trip, people kept asking us the same three questions. Why Bulgaria? Do you have family there? What made you choose this country? And even when we got to the country, we had so many residents even ask us, why did you choose our little country? And the answer honestly surprised just about everybody. And it was because we followed a letter of the alphabet and ended up completely falling in love with this place that we never expected. Hi, I'm Crystal, the founder and creator of Dates in the States. What started as a travel blog when my now husband and I traveled across the states in my Mustang for 5 weeks straight is now a resource for everyone who wants to explore the United States one day at a time. And even though we write a lot about the US and have been to just about every state at this point, doesn't mean we don't travel to other places. This trip in particular was extra special for us because it was our first wedding anniversary trip. We started a tradition when we got married, and now every year we visit a country in alphabetical order. So our honeymoon was Aruba for A. So for year one, it had to be a country that started with B, and that's how we landed on Bulgaria. And instead of big cities, we decided to choose a little small mountain town called Bansko, and somehow ended up being one of the most romantic, magical, and beautiful places that we've ever been. We didn't choose Bulgaria because of family or history or anything like that. We chose it because it checked three big boxes. It was crazy affordable, it felt safe, and it looked insanely beautiful online. When we saw photos of the Pirin Mountains, we both felt like the mountains are calling to us. And after traveling to Aruba and enjoying a beach, we wanted to be in the forest and we didn't want to be somewhere touristy either. So Bulgaria kind of just fit into that category for us. We stayed in Bansko through home exchange, and it ended up being one of the best travel decisions we've ever made. And if you haven't heard me talk about home exchange yet, just you wait. I do talk about it a lot. We stayed in a cozy apartment right at the base of Pirin National Park. It felt like this peaceful ski lodge, even in the summer. And I loved being able to just walk outside onto her porch and see the mountains, or walk out of the building and have a 5-minute walk into the town center. I loved it so much, in fact, that I'm setting aside a little money every month towards an apartment fund because I would love nothing more than to buy a condo in this building someday, as not only like a really good investment property, but someplace we could enjoy whenever we wanted. That's the dream for me. But for now, a home exchange helped us experience this place in a way that no other rental place would have, and here's why. So with home exchange, we use guest points instead of paying with real money, and it made the trip basically free for us. All we had to do was pay, obviously, for our plane ticket and our food, but everywhere that we stayed on this trip was free because of home exchange. And honestly, using home exchange, it felt like we were living local instead of tourist. And that's the kind of travel that Shane and I both really do prefer. And that's what home exchange is all about. If you want to learn more, I would highly suggest you check it out using the link in my description below. So you can kind of check it out, see what home exchange is. They have a free trial. Seriously, you will not regret it. Bansko felt like stepping into a whole other world. People were kinder, life moved slower, nobody felt rushed or angry. It felt like a place where people would actually enjoy being alive. And it was a huge difference than where we live in Rochester, New York. Like, I feel like here, everybody's just like, go, 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 go. Everybody's like road rage, you know. I don't know. Bansko just felt so much more intentional. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Even the stray cats and dogs were cared for. They joined us for meals at restaurants and even on our porch, and they walked with us. It just felt peaceful in a way that's really hard to explain. But let me get right to it and share with you a few of our favorite things that we did in Bansko. Number one was just wander the old town. The cobblestone streets, stone houses, handmade souvenir shops, it literally just felt like a fairy tale. We accidentally stumbled upon a Bulgarian wedding celebration. That was awesome, with music, dancing, and people celebrating in the streets, and that is really something that I'll soon never forget. We visited the Trinity Church and even saw storks nesting on the building, which locals do consider a symbol of good luck. And one of the most meaningful stops was the home of Neofit Rilski. one of the Bulgaria's most important cultural figures. It really felt surreal to step into his property and just walk around and explore. So that was a really cool experience. Number two was the food. I mean, it really just deserves its own video, but let's briefly touch base about some of our favorite places in Bansko. So honestly, I have to say, we didn't have a single bad meal in Bulgaria. Every single restaurant, it was homemade, it was fresh, it was comforting. Even my experience buying a saran wrapped spinach pie at a gas station was tastier and fresher than anything I've ever bought in the US. I kid you not. And that was one of my favorite parts about this country. Everything tasted so clean, so fresh, so good. I was shocked. And when I came back to the States, it was just so depressing. Like, I could actually taste the difference and the crap that they put into our food here. But I digress. I can go on for hours about that. But in Bansko, here's a few of our favorite spots to name. Okay, so the first one is Modicata. This was at the base of our apartment building, so we could walk right there. And it was a place we wanted to eat at almost every night. And then, side note, I also bought this really cool cookbook about Bulgarian recipes and stuff. And that restaurant actually had a recipe in there with the guy who served us. And I just thought that was really cool. Okay. Number two was, and I'm going to butcher these words so bad, Pizzeria Boyanovi. That was a really fun one. And then the other one was Mihana Chevramito. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm saying these words right, but Mihana was really, really good food too. Oh my goodness. I'm so hungry right now. Okay. And yes, I have to say everything is covered in feta cheese, which I fully supported. One thing to note, we did notice something at the restaurants that I wanted to point out and mention, and it was something that we didn't know until we ended up there, was the cultural differences. Women were usually served first, and you also have to politely ask for your check. So when I say women were usually served first, I mean, I would honestly get like my plate of food and I would have to start eating before they would bring out Shane's food, okay? And then you would also, like here in the US, they immediately bring your check when they see you're done eating and you don't need anything else. Here, they just wait for you to ask for your check. So I know like our first time eating out was actually at Modicata, and we sat forever and we're like, dude, they're not bringing our check. And so Shane finally asked and they're like, yeah, you need to ask for it here. We had no idea. So side note, very important to note, ask for your check. So if you're there and you feel like service is a little slow, it's not. It's intentional. And it did take some time getting used to. But honestly, being back in the States, I would much prefer that. All right. Number three, the gondola ride in Bansko was one of the most magical parts of the trip. We kept walking under it every day because it was on our way from the apartment building to the town. And finally, I was like, okay, we're doing it. It lifted us up into the Pirin Mountains and dropped us off surrounded by like wildflowers and open meadows and hiking trails. It was so freaking beautiful and so worth it. Even if you don't hike, you just need to at least go for the ride, get to the somewhat top, and then take it back down. And it's just so worth it. And on that note, that is also where we hiked towards Bulgaria's oldest tree, the famous, I'm going to butcher this too, Bekushevi. I can't say it. Anyways, the pine, I'll spell it here, right here. All right. It's a big pine and it's the famous oldest one in Bulgaria in the entire country. So that was really cool to see. And then we had attempted to hike toward Lake Muratovo. Muratova. And that was like around 2,200 meters. And I got hit with altitude sickness and we had to turn back. So honestly, even turning back, the whole thing felt worth it anyways, because the beauty out there was just so unreal and we still enjoyed it regardless. So Bansko wasn't just a destination, it became a feeling. It felt safe, felt slow, it felt like home in a place that we never expected to love this much. And if you're thinking about traveling somewhere different, somewhere romantic, peaceful, meaningful, Bansko should honestly, seriously be on your list. So if you loved this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in our next adventure.